The views presented in this program are not meant to express the specific views of the Lafayette Bible Fellowship. You are listening to the Vigilance Radio Network.
Welcome everybody. We are back with another Culture Insanity. We just wanted to hit a couple issues that are relevant, or specifically this issue, which is relevant in the wake of the slappening. We we have another issue popping up, which is just in regard to the Grammys. So a little bit ago, the Grammy Awards nominated, and I don't know if they won. Did they win?
No, this indicates that that there was actual winning.
Okay.
Right. So
just the other night, though there wasn't any more slappening that happened. The Marilyn Manson and Louis C.K. both won awards for
Louis C.K. Best Comedy Album, and Marilyn Manson for his work with Ye.
Right, for Donda.
For Donda.
Yeah, or Donda. I don't know. It's his mom's name or his grandma's name.
Yes, I don't know the correct pronunciation, I'll admit.
Anyway, so why is this significant? Why are we highlighting this in particular? Well, so the reason why we're talking about these two in particular is because specifically of what they've been accused of. This goes back to the just the idea that in our culture in particular, we seem to highlight we seem to highlight the problem with other people, but then when it doesn't suit us, then we can switch our narrative out. And here we see a really progressive industry, again, the music industry. I guess Louis C.K. isn't really music, but
no.
But the audio
entertainment,
right? The audio industry giving awards to people that that are having some major issues. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what we're talking about so people have a better frame of reference. Let's see. So USA Today put out an article about cancel culture specifically. Let's see. Marilyn Manson and Louis C.K. have both been accused of sexual violence and misconduct. Both won Grammys Sunday night, prompting outcry on social media. Many sexual assault survivors claimed it showed how even in a post-Me Too era, the public and its institutions continue to minimize sexual violence and reward those accused, or in the case of CK, who have admitted such violence. Others use the wins as an example of how cancel culture, among the most polarizing current cultural debates, rarely generates lasting consequences. Let's see. Louis C.K. won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album, and the Grammy for Best Rap Song went to Ye's Jail, which featured Marilyn Manson. There is no such thing as cancel culture when men abuse women. This is a quote. Yeah. If Weinstein wasn't in jail, he'd probably already be producing movies again, wrote Alejandra Caraballo, a clinical instructor at Harvard's Law School Cyber Law Clinic. Yeah. So, what do we think about this, specifically as Christians in regard to what we're seeing this, are we seeing a reverse of the trend, the cancel culture trend? What do you think?
I think it's actually just peeling back the layers and showing that this, cancel culture doesn't actually produce any type of lasting result. It's when you seek to find equity by banning people from speaking or by trying to initialize some power over them in and of yourself, you're going to find that there are people that are more powerful than you. And that doesn't bring about any type of lasting change at all. I mean, you have in Louis C.K. at least someone who's come forward and admitted, yes, I did that. And then the question is, has he actually asked for, forgiveness for those actions? He's recognized that those actions were wrong. He's admitted that those were wrong. But now, he's even back to using them in his comedy routines and talking about the fact that he did that as fodder for that. So is there any real, what we would call repentance from that? And then in the case of Marilyn Manson, you have, more than a dozen allegations, denial all throughout. You've got at least 4 different lawsuits from different women alleging abuse. So, is he fine as long as he just continues to throw his power and money behind things? Is he, going to come out the other end and not have to answer these allegations other than just denying them? What is the culture really trying to get from what did Me Too actually mean other than calling people out?
Right.
This is the difficulty when you try to set a standard yourself. It's impossible for you to impose your standard because everyone else is going to have a different standard. And I think when you come across people who have money and influence, you'll find that you can't actually cancel them in that regard.
Yeah,
because they will always win out.
Yeah, let's check this out. This is let's see what we got here.
Listen, the 64th annual Grammy nominations were revealed yesterday, and the announcement did not, because it is the Grammys, come without controversy.
This is true. Yeah, several nominees have generated backlash in recent years for various controversies, including Marilyn Manson and Louis C.K., who both received recognition from the Grammys.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but the caption underneath the woman who's talking is, "Are you surprised Jared Leto eats naked?" I, for one, am not surprised. Let's continue.
Surprise there.
After sexual misconduct accusations, Dave Chappelle and DaBaby were also nominated, who have recently come under fire for offensive comments towards the LGBTQ plus community.
And Marilyn Manson and DaBaby are actually nominated together for appearing on Kanye's latest project, Donda, which is up for Album of the Year. The Recording Academy's CEO, Harvey Mason Jr. has responded to the questions about these controversial nominees, explaining that they aren't looking into artists' past. He says in a statement this: "We won't restrict the people who can submit their material for consideration. We won't look back at people's history. We won't look at their criminal record. We won't look at anything other than the legality within our rules. Is this recording for this work eligible based on date and other criteria? If it is, they can submit for consideration."
Now,
all right. So, do we think that this is in the right direction? Do we think this is in the wrong direction?
I think it's I think it's in the right direction for this reason. I think it's showing a highlight on the standards that are applied and how it is that they're completely ineffective. Believe it or not, it made me think of Chris Brown and Rihanna. It made me think of that and the whole, we can't buy any Chris Brown albums and we can't listen to his music. How's his career going? Not too bad, actually.
I don't know. I
He's
never
still,
listened to his music to begin with, but
right,
I know that he's considered fondly.
He's still considered fondly, and people make jokes about the incident in the vehicle and that type of thing. So I think the problem is, yes, there's a problem in America, and the problem is that we objectify these people. We allow them to influence power and money. There's no real accountability, and even when we try to apply some type of accountability, because there's no standard that's actually set in stone, there's no foundational truth that's applied, it's completely ineffective.
All right, let's take a look at... No, this isn't what I'm looking for. There's a video with ACO. Is that what she goes by? Cortez. Do you know what I'm talking about?
AOC.
AOC. There it is. AOC. Hey, on that note, let's play some quick trivia with Pastor James. Okay. Oh, goodness. What city is 8 Mile set in? Come on.
Oh, that's Detroit.
Detroit. Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Good. Okay. You got one.
One for 3.
Let's see. Okay, so here is a video.
Is it continues?
When I haven't told many people that in my life, But when we go through trauma compounds on each other.
One of the commonalities about people who experience some form of trauma is that it continues to go through one's mind like a broken record. It becomes like embers that are always there simmering.
That's pretty good.
Until something is thrown on it that excites it, and then you're
All right,
back reliving that experience once again.
What you're hearing there is a video that kind of deals with AOC. It deals with Evan Rachel Wood specifically because she
publicly called out
Marilyn Manson, right? They were
stated,
fiancés, and stated that the allegation was that he raped her in front of a bunch of people for one of his videos. So what you have here is now we're adding this secondary issue to it of how cancel culture is necessary, basically, because if we don't cancel these people, then you're essentially committing assault over and over and over again. What do you think about that?
Well, the problem, I think, is pretty well described even in the scenario that the psychiatrist or whatever he was from Kaiser Permanente there was talking about. When you deal with trauma, there is that thing in the back of your head. There are those burning embers.
Right.
The problem is,
and that is true.
That is completely true, 100% honest, and it will come back to haunt you unless, you see, there's an unless that's not being discussed here. Unless it is properly dealt with so that it no longer has that power over you. And is that going to be done in and of yourself, do you think, Josh?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. You cannot overcome that by yourself because you're a finite being and you're not made to forget. We are created to remember. So it's not a process of making you forget that happened. It's a process of having you deal with that appropriately so it no longer has that power over you, so it no longer has that strength. So no matter what happens from the person that accused you, it's not going to flare up again for you because its power has been destroyed, and that only happens through God.
Yeah. Well, from the person that abused you or took advantage of you or whatever it is. Yeah. And I think what we're seeing is two things. So one, we have the canceling of people in order to gain power. And we're seeing that the outworking of that, it isn't really effective. And I kind of agree with whoever that person was that said that Weinstein would be making movies again.
Absolutely.
I agree that is the case. I don't think that cancel culture is effective. And I think what you're seeing is the outworking of that right now. So you have that, and this is demonstrating it, and I think we need to understand that we need a better response.
We need a way to actually deal with the trauma, and then, I mean, if there are going to be any type of lasting consequences for people that traumatize others in this way, it's not going to come from, just don't buy their albums or don't watch their comedy.
So we need people to speak out with due process and evidence, right? We need people to speak out and actually prosecute people, not let them be above the law.
Absolutely.
But actually prosecute people when they're having these issues, and they need to be encouraged to speak out. They need to have a safe place for that. There needs to be evidence for it and not a jury of social media, but an actual jury process that's going down so that people can't feel safe in being it is proper counsel. And that's not to find in yourself your broken self that always has embers that are always waiting to light on fire by a secular admission, to not find that counsel in yourself, but to find that in God, to find that in a community that's based in God, that understands that God can transform you. So I guess we're coming up on 15 minutes here. We're going to end the show real quick here, just quick snippet. But what we want for our audience to take away is that cancel culture doesn't work, that God can transform you, that you need to seek that out, seek transformation in God for him to heal you Find that in your community. Find that in building your identity within Christ, and so that He can give you more of that, so that you don't have to be susceptible to perpetrators like this. If you know that something's happening, speak out in both ways. Get somebody real help and speak out against people who are violating other people.
100% accurate.
Yeah. See you later. Let's cue the disclaimer.
The views presented in this program are not meant to express the specific views of the Lafayette Bible Fellowship. You are listening to the Vigil